Thank you, Lindsay, and thank you to the Society for actually giving me the opportunity of introducing ourselves to you as hopefully as a new operator and presence in Stratford, and again, yes, to convey the way we would like to continue and go ahead and develop the marina and operate and exist and be a part of the town. So what I thought I'd do is that I'd show you what we do and what we have done and what we are proposing to do, and hopefully just to put some flesh on the bones, because as you all know, this has been a very long-winded process. I think 1974 when it was first granted consent, and we inherited the site at the back end of 2016, and again, as Lindsay says, had absolutely nothing to do with the previous owner. So without further ado, and please, obviously, I do understand you have questions at the end, and I will do my best to answer them, and if I can't, forgive me, and I can go away and try and find the answers to that. So I will test my IT, and here we go. Share the screen. Share the screen. It's a great start, isn't it? So the developer's experience, which I think is, which I'm just going to canter through this because nobody wants to look at loads of stats, but the overlying sentiment is that Land and Water Services are an award-winning inland waterway and coastal civil engineering and environmental engineering company, and I really want to. That is at the core of our business, because we do a lot of work with the Environment Agency and the work for government bodies, and there are lots of hurdles to get into this, also with the Canal Rivers Trust, and therefore alongside health and safety, our health and safety department is called HSQE. That's quite the health and safety, obviously, and then quality and the environment. So I just want to put that out there. That is a cornerstone. We're often working in. So we find synonymous with finding creative and effective solutions to complex challenges in the spacious environment where land and water meet, often working in complex or sensitive habitats, and our work is always completed with sympathy to the local surroundings, people and the environment. Now, that's not something I've just made up for this meeting. That's something I've taken from our press office. So deal with that as you will. But so for ourselves, we built and operated four marinas as GeoMac, and GeoMac is the owner of this site, although it all comes within the Land and Water Group. Kings Bromley Wharf, 275 boats, Sewell Junction Marina, that's on the Gloucester Sharpness Canal, which is a big shipping canal. Cane Hill Marina down in Devizes, Wiltshire, and Northwich Quay, which is on the River Weaver in Cheshire. I've just listed numerous other marinas that we have built for other people. So going on, this is the first marina we built back in 2003. We built it in two sections, actually. It was the first part was so successful there, which we then built an extension, aerial shots and the construction shots. So I expect you're wondering, well, we're just seeing a lot of mud right now down off the Seven Meadows Road, and this shows you that yes, I'm afraid we have to start there, but then the site will green up and be landscaped. Similar site down at place called Salt Junction. Very interesting. It's a confluence of the big, large ship canal and a smaller canal here. And you'll see this is Whitminster House, beautiful house. And there's the church in the background. This crane was nothing to do with us. It was part of a shipyard nearby. But again, you know, a dust bowl here turning into a lovely water feature over here. This is our Cane Hill Marina. Again, in Devizes, Wiltshire, at the bottom of the Cane Hill flight. You can see various processes of construction based on the plan, and then there it is today. The aerial shots don't really do it justice, but you can see that it's greening up, and we've done a lot of planting as well. This is a different kettle of fish. This is Northwich Quay Marina, based on the River Weaver in Cheshire, and this, like the Stratford Marina, will be a floating, because it's on a river. The rivers go up and down, and therefore you'll see on site with us down at Stratford, there are numerous piles in the ground, and these piles enable the jetties. The jetties will be affixed to these, and they'll be coastal type jetties, so they're very fit for purpose, and they'll go up and down as this one does on the River Weaver. And so in the bottom corner here you can see the original plan, and up in the top other corner you can see you can see the finish article, and in the top right hand corner, actually, you know, we're part of the local festival there, and so celebrating the water. I didn't know whether to put this bottom one in, but there's the current Prime Minister. He came to have a look, as did David Cameron beforehand, because it was investment into the area. The last one we built, and I continue to operate, is Campbell Wharf in Milton Keynes. And the bottom right-hand corner, you can see it's in its embryonic stage, and then moving across there now. It's delightfully planted, and a lovely example. You'll see that facilities building, the building here that looks like a boathouse. This is a similar theme to the building that we'll be having at Stratford. So the marina development itself is 200, I'm sure you know the site better than I do, but 22, just over 22 acres. We've got the River Avon on one boundary and Seven Meadows Road on the other. Once developed, we'll have 250 berths there, of differing boats, by the way, of river boats and narrow boats, but it is designed for narrow boats. There'll be a facilities building, which I've just mentioned, and services for anybody coming up and down the river, fuel and pump out. There's car parking for 125 berth holders' cars, and electric vehicle. There'll be electric vehicle charging points, and I just want to say we are looking to incorporate modern styles of operation. Things are moving so quickly these days that we have just upgraded our service bollards to operate from the cloud. And what that means is there won't be wasted electricity, there won't be wasted paper, and hopefully everything will be more efficient, so they tell me. Anyway, so here's the marina. As you know, an X marks the spot is the marina site. Again, just a Google image showing the site in its close proximity to the town. And this is the layout of the marina, with the berths. Where we have the green here, you'll see this is all going to be planted up. I roughly marked off, counted up, well, took it off Google Earth, so it needs a pinch of salt, but there's probably going to be some 600 meters of water margin, and around, and I'll just come on to that a bit later. So well, that's just an overlay. It doesn't quite work. Anyway, so just to put things into context, the marina is at the end of the river Avon navigation, as you well know, but eventually it links to the Grand Union Canal, and that's critical in linking the marina with the rest of the canal network, and that's based on on history. Because I'm just going to really romp through these, because obviously it started in 1635, and things moved on when it then became part of the Avon Ring, which I'll show you in a minute, which is 109 miles of waterway, and links onto the national system, which means that people in Stratford will be able to trade not only with the Midlands, but obviously at the other end you've got the River Severn, which from my experience it clearly goes out to the sea and goes to Gloucester, where goods will be put into bigger vessels and exported. So it really was a proper international link. But obviously, as with a lot of places, canals, railway companies found it very easy to buy out the canal companies or the navigation companies, because they were just dealing with one purchaser or one vendor rather, and they could buy a whole strip of land and then build a railway on it. And of course, that then led to the decline of a lot of waterways, as has happened, particularly with the Upper Avon navigation. But back in 64, 69, the Upper Avon Navigation Trust was formed, and then the locks built subsequently. And on the 1st of June 1974, the navigation was ceremonially opened by Her Majesty the Queen Mother, and on the following year, the Queen herself travelled on the waterway, and the lower and upper and finally amalgamated. This from the website, which I think is quite interesting. Current situation use, the navigation is both a linear park and a quiet highway. I think that's a good juxtaposition. Provides opportunities for, I did not write this, opportunities for commercial development and enhanced property values, a major and reliable source of irrigation water, and excellent coarse fishery, an effective major land drain, and a means of conveying treated sewage. Plans for the future. A number of years, the Stratford and Warwick Waterways Trust, which Ant is a corporate member, promoted the scheme to reopen and extend the navigation from Stratford to Warwick, to make a direct link with the Grand Union. And I have actually spoken to the Avon Navigation Trust about that. So this slide just puts things into context. You can see the bright green here being the river, going down to Tewkesbury, the River Severn, and then up to Worcester, and round up into Kings Norton, just out in Birmingham, and then via Solihull back down the Stratford Canal to Stratford-on-Avon. So that's the Avon Ring, and that then links into other rings, a bit like the Olympic rings. So the marina will be constructed by a cut and fill method, and that's a balancing of the material that you excavate. You don't take it off site, you keep it on site, but the material you remove, you then put somewhere else and within the site, and landscape it and use it to your advantage. The basin walls will be natural banks, with soft landscaped edges. There's a little bit of a piling around the marina entrance from the river, obviously to prevent erosion and that sort of thing. And the facilities building won't quite look like this. I'll show you, but it's similar design inside, and single-story boathouse style. So just going back to the dig, which is the actual construction. So what you might have noticed is that there are a lot of piles put into the ground. And but first of all, we excavate in chunks and remove to create this cut and fill balance. And I just took this photograph of a plan that was on the wall of the work in construction. And here you see it from the air. So machines are taking, we had to strip off the topsoil. That topsoil then gets stored. So you will have seen a mountain of topsoil, and then that topsoil gets, after the construction is over, that topsoil then gets replaced back on top of the final land. So when it's landscaped, it's actually the same soil or that was in that area in the first place. And this is a good this is, you start to see from this image the edges of the basin being formed. Again, from another angle, looking back towards the town, you can see that. And then pretty much as it looks at the moment, the piles are put in the dry, although this is wet. The piles get put in, and they're approximately 2/3 in the ground to 1/3 out of the ground. So they were driven in, so they're a good anchor to which to fix the moorings which rise and fall, and the height of these. I know it looks particularly high at the moment, but when the basin's full of water, they won't look so high. But they are based on a 1 in 100 flood level as requested. And you'll see just on the edge, to the left of your screen, the towpath and the bridge there with a temporary footpath here. So coming on to then, as part of the planning for the scheme, there is a planting scheme, and that will be obviously enforced by the again by the local and overseen by the local authority. But again, it's I don't know how much detail to go into, but when you're designing a marina, and I think I explained this to Lindsay, customers are looking for the towpath experience. They really want to be on the towpath, but they then probably want to sit and have a drink or something, or watch the sun go down, but then go down below and either put the television on or have a cup of tea or something like that. And so an electrical hookup of some description is beneficial rather than running engines. So and then when they finish at the weekend, after the weekend or whatever they've been away, they want to leave their boat and know that it's safe. And so that's why we have marinas, is to encourage customers to come, or to make it a nice place. We try to make it as natural as possible to replicate that towpath experience as much as we can. This is just an artist's impression of the facilities building, and at one end will be loos and showers and a laundry, and then this open, more glass end will be the office. Now the office really will just be very, very small, a corner of this room, and the remainder of the room will be used for customers to come in, read a newspaper, have a cup of coffee. But then it also doubles up. We have either social functions or a lecture talked by somebody. So to try and create a nice social atmosphere amongst the customers, we could have health and safety talks. We've had talks by the local fire brigade on boat safety and that sort of thing. So that's the sort of thing that we'd be trying to create, and that would overlook the marina and be the heart of it. And again, there would be picnic tables around and that sort of thing, just to enhance the sort of recreation ambience. Yeah, so this is a classic example of one. This is the sort of open area I'm referring to. Yet the showers and loos They want to be good quality and just a nice, pleasant, clean place in which to use. Other local things, other things you'd expect to see on the marina, we have. You can see these little things here: a life ring and a fire extinguisher. There is a requirement by the Yacht Harbour Association of how many you have per boat, and they'll be dotted around. Similarly, there will be a ladder, because that's really good for getting people out if they fall in the water. And the water, I didn't really explain, it is not that deep. It'll be about 1.34 meters deep. So a ladder will touch the bottom, and it would be much easier to get, if somebody fell in, much easier to get them out of the water. I talked about the service bollards, and here they are, these black things sticking up, and that's what you plug into to give, and that will all be driven by the cloud. The decking we have will be non-slip, the modern non-slip grip, to increase obviously health and safety. It moved away from the old-fashioned timber decking, which can, when it's wet, it can become slippery. All our workings, such as fuel tank, rubbish bins, and all that sort of thing, we hide behind in a compound, as you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner. So try to keep the place. So in there, yes, we do have to sell gas or coal or fuel, but that will hold. That's all kept tidily away, and the rest of the space is there to be, look as natural as possible. Just out of curiosity, this is this is an old crane, which is an old London crane. We haven't got one for Stratford, but it's a bit of fun down at Shakespeare. Cane Hill. But here, when I refer to pump out and fuel, quite often on a lot of marinas you'll see dirty old fuel dispenser or a pump out. Here we have one of each, and they're stainless steel, and you wouldn't really know what they were except for those. So again, all the works and are all back in the compound, and therefore, if minimizing any potential contamination issues and things like that. So that's a brief canter through what we're building. We are on a timing wise. The Marina Basin will be completed hopefully by the end of November and usable. However, the facilities building will not be ready in time, and therefore we propose to have an official opening in around about the 1st of April, being well, which we always do invite all interested parties to come, whether they have a boat or not, just to sort of take part and integrate into, to see what's going on. The filling, I'm always getting asked about the filling, and there's not going to be a great breakthrough and surge of water into the basin. There's a lot of groundwater in the area, and what we propose to do is to we've done it already actually. We're turning the pumps off, and so water is coming up through the ground. The pumps have been turned off for 4 days, and I think it's risen about 200 mil. So that's about 50 mil a day. So that therefore has no effect. I know that the Clive Matthews at the Avon Navigation was keen to keep an eye on how we filled, because he'd experienced, when there had been a breach before, having effect on the river levels. Well, hopefully, well, not hopefully, this way, there shouldn't be any, well, there won't be any effect on the river levels. We will obviously, towards the end, cut through, because to give the boats access to things. But that's a nice, gentle way. And I think I was speaking to the site manager this afternoon, and he thinks that in 2 weeks' time, the basin will be full. Once that happens, the jetties will arrive. They're already been assembled, and because they float, and so they just get lifted into the water, floated up towards the poles that you saw, the piles, and then bolted onto them. So that's quite a very, very, it's not a noisy process, and comparatively quick. Then we hook up, then we put the bollards, electric bollards, on the top of that, as they follow the installation of the jetties. The car park is being has been laid as we speak. So come the end of November, we're hoping that we should be in a position to accept boats, but we won't be operating as a marina. When we opened our Cane Hill Marina, I had Claire Perry, the then local MP for Devizes, came and opened it, and she said that we had a cut of ribbon and that sort of thing, and she said that it was a lovely place, but and she'd hoped that we would have markets and that sort of thing, and I'm, with the car parking space and things that we've got, I'm hoping that we would be able to do possibly something like that, or hold some social function or something, which would involve the town, and so it's our wish to integrate and to be hopefully be an asset to the town, and be part of life, because we've got, I know, the Festival of the Water there, Festival of the River, sorry, brilliant spectacle, a lot of fun, a lot of action, and again, we're part of that in Northwich. If we can help in any way, I'll definitely make it known to the organisers. I don't know if there's anything else I can add at this stage, but I think just a couple of interesting points. I mentioned that the new the perimeter of the basin is 600 meters, which will increase the water margin and therefore the ecology. The depth will be 1.4 meters. The jetty length in total, interestingly enough, is about 2.2 kilometers, quite some way. The the material move was about 70,000 cube, which is about 126,000 tons material, and the void, or the water, if at 1.4 meters, will be something like 35,000 cubic meters, or 3.5 million liters. I have had approaches from some of all things butchers, artisan butchers in the town. I don't know quite how we can get involved with them, but and a coffee trailer. And when we had our open day, I said to the fellow, "Come along." He's a young lad. "Come along. See if you can do anything. Whatever you want, give it a go." So, well, the point of me saying that is that one we would try how we may integrate. I'll give you another example. I had an approach from Lucy's Mill, friends of Lucy's Mill Bridge, and I think we're looking. We might be able to help with some land if they change the location of the bridge from one side of the bridge to the other. To make that work. So, it's very early days, but if there's anything, we would try. The will is to want to integrate as much as we can. So that's all I can say at the moment. But if I'll remove this screen and go back to Lindsay.